I'm back with another triggering topic. Now, today's topic is Pickme's Never Prosper, featuring Watch Jazzy. Now, quick disclaimer, this video was filled with my thoughts and my thoughts alone. Everything is all alleged, nothing is factual. I do not know any of these people personally. This is a commentary channel, and oftentimes I use clips and news articles as part of my critical review, right along with fair use guidelines. Now that we got that out of the way, I just want to say that this video will be a little different because it's not going to be filled with the clips, because the last time I posted some clips from a podcast, I got flagged. So this time I'm just going to talk about the clips rather than post them in this video. But if you go searching, you will be able to find them very, very, very easily. Now, Watch Jazzy has been trying to gaslight black women and her supporters for years now, telling them that being a pick-me is the road to enlightenment and happiness for the black woman, even going as far as having a comedy tour called The Third Baby Mama. Yikes. Can you imagine bringing your pregnant behind on a comedy tour where you parade yourself around as a baby mama with no ring, pandering to a man that publicly tells the world that he cheats on you and you're not good enough for marriage every 1 to 2 business days, but yet you still think that you're superior to the previous women that he's been involved with? Yikes. Now, this woman went back on everything that she said in her previous content about not letting men play in your face. She's done all of that to now flip to being the Mrs. Butterworth to Cam Newton, a known F-boy and cheater, to also having backdoor play, even though she said publicly that she doesn't like it, but she's doing it to please him. Ew. And side note, ladies, if a man is willing to engage in X acts with you that he knows that you don't like and don't feel comfortable with, he doesn't love you and he only cares about himself. And that's a fact. And then my thing is to do all of that, all of this that Jazzy has done. And then when women are rightly horrified and also concerned about your well-being, you say that those women are miserable because they don't have a quote unquote rich ninja. And if they could get the men that you could get, they would be doing the same thing that you are. Then, and even with all of that, with Jazzy ruining her brand as an empowered content creator, ruining her image by looking like a foolish pick-me, ruining her image by looking like a goofy, by telling the world that you're up in the morning, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, and taking care of your baby with no nanny. And if I'm not mistaken, she also mentioned that she doesn't really ask Cam for money either. I think that that is insane, especially when your so-called man is worth $50 million. Because what in the world are you bragging about having a rich ninja for if you can't even get none of the bread? Him being rich and he not spending none of the bread on you, then what does that mean? You might as well get a brokey then, right? This lady has completely blown her entire life and image up for this man. And he has said that he hasn't even asked this lady to be his girlfriend officially. Talking about what's understood don't need to be explained. Well, apparently to you it does, since you've been having intercourse with other women while you've been with her. But this ain't even about all of that, because it's a dumpster fire. This woman got on a podcast earlier this year talking about she's been cooking and cleaning for her child and Cam's other children, and she's been up early and no one checked on her all day and even asked her if she ate or if she was good. And of course, I knew that when she said that Cam was taking her through it, because she said that publicly and it was like, wow, like she couldn't even keep it inside. That's how much she's going through. Because a smart woman would have never said anything about that, especially if you try to make it seem like everything's all G at home. But the cracks were already starting to show. And it's really not a shocker, though. At least it's not a shocker to anybody with eyeballs, because Cam Newton is very clearly using her and energy vampiring her to expose her business on his very public podcast, even going as far as to say that both of them are hoes. I would hope that anyone with half a brain would be able to see that Jazzy standards are set to the bottom layer, the bottom layer of hell. But she just posted this on her social media. Transparency moment. If God gave me a son, I'd be so nervous because I feel like I'd subconsciously raise him to be a man I can only dream of, but never experienced. And that's traumatic. Now, once again, that is another cry for the attention of Cam Newton, because it ain't for us. She's clearly begging this man to be the man that she needs, talking about she's never experienced a good man. Essentially, that's what she's saying. And I could have sworn this lady got on social media and said, I love being a servant. I love being a servant. I love serving my man. I love getting on my hands and knees and letting you do whatever you want with me. I love getting on my hands and knees and standing up and hopping up and down and barking just like I was in Coming to America. I could have sworn that's what she was saying earlier. But, it's just crazy. Like, I have no idea how she thought that she was going to get good man out of Cam Newton. He never, ever will be that because he is incapable. He wasted his first baby mama's time, Kia Proctor. She was with that Negro for 10 years and had all of those children by him. And he cheated on her and got someone else pregnant and then wanted her to accept that. What? This is a man that is broken and does not respect women, and he is sexually unregulated. He does not know how to control himself, and he has no self-control, period. And this is my thing. I remember when Jazzy was on that podcast talking about, I rub his back to sleep. And I know this sounds weird, but I know the way he's breathing when he's sleeping. Now I can stop, and I'm packing and unpacking his bag, and I'm catering to him, and I'm so submissive. I'm such a submissive woman. I'm submitting to him, and my superpower is loving a man back to health. And when she was asked, does he know her or does he do the same thing? When she was asked that, her face was looking cracked, like some scrambled eggs at breakfast. And at that time, I knew she would regret it because I knew that she was giving into him, pouring into him, and he was giving her nothing but dick, nothing but the presence of a man being around. And that is not all we should require as Black women. Now, I will say that I really feel like she said all of that stuff about submission and cooking and the cleaning and rubbing his back because she wanted to place herself in a position of being superior to the other women that Cam had been involved with. Like, oh, well, me and him we're going to be good. He's not going to treat me like he treated you heifers because I treat him way better than y'all. I'm doing this, that, and the third. And really what I want women to realize is that you can never do enough to get a bad man to become a good man. I'm going to say it one more time. You can never do enough to get a bad man to become a good man. You can't put it on him enough. You can't engage in X acts that you don't want enough. You can't cook enough. You can't clean enough. You can't have enough children. If a man is a dog, he will always be that. And the best way to find out the character of a man is to look at his previous behavior. And what did his previous behavior indicate? Well, Cam Newton's previous behavior indicated that not only is he a serial time waster and baby mama maker, but he is an energy vampire. He wants a woman to pour into him and love on him and forgive him for his sins, but he will never reciprocate. Jazzy, like so many other women, refused to see the signs. A man that will watch you have his children but will not marry you does not love you. And for the women that will tell me, hey, Triggered, a man can still marry you and he can still cheat and he can still treat you badly. You're right, sis. You're right. But if you think a man can marry you and do all of that, what do you think a man that doesn't even value you enough to make the attempt and marry you will do? Cam Newton told Jazzy and the world how much he valued her, which was very little, and she ignored it. And now she is a trapped two-time baby mama who had no children previously. She had 2 children by a man that doesn't value her and never will. You ruined your whole brand by going back on everything that you preach to women about. And for what? For what? Your man to constantly come on podcasts and talk about how he ain't trying to get married and he's cheated on you and he loves you so much and cares for you so much because you accept him back and bake him cookies after he has had an exhausting day of cheating on you? Pickmes never prosper. And I will tell you why. Because the type of men that will be attracted to a pick-me are men that intend to use, they intend to take, they intend to conquer, they intend to suck the life out of you till there is nothing left. A man that came into your life to add to it, to help build you up, to help heal you, to protect you, wouldn't even want that pick-me pandering that Jazzy is doing. All being a pick-me does is make you an easy lick for a man that is going to have you like this. Begin scene. Are you hungry? Then maybe you should go into the kitchen and get yourself something to eat. Christina's gone. Hold on. I can't even get through the scene. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Hopefully y'all get the reference because I can't even put the clip in here without getting in trouble with copyright. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Like, let me stop. Let me stop playing. But look, for real. I'm serious. I just want to say, like, don't let this be you. Being a pick-me gets you nowhere except being played with. And not in the way that you want. Look, I'm sorry. I'm doing too much again. Let me stop being inappropriate. Okay? Look. Seriously. I don't take pleasure in any woman's pain. And I really feel like I have to say that I do not take pleasure in any woman's pain. But I do have to say that Stevie Wonder could have seen this outcome. And looking at it from my perspective, Jazzy will either suffer in silence to prove all of us wrong with an occasional, subliminal post where we know that something in the house is not right or something in the milk ain't clean, or she will eventually get fed up and leave that man. But I have no idea how she's out here letting a grown man who is out here wearing anklets play in her face and make her feel some type of way. Like, I'm just flabbergasted. The anklet would have made me just be like, yeah, you gotta go. But all I'm saying is that I make these videos not to down Jazzy. I honestly don't. I make them as cautionary tales for other black women and black girls so they don't allow themselves to go down the road of trying to save a man that cannot be saved. And that your attempts to save him and uplift him will only destroy you in the end. And you don't want that, sis. You don't. So learn from her mistakes and never, ever, ever pour into a man that hasn't done that for you times 100 million times. All right? He hasn't done it. That's just like, what? What are you doing? Never have a man's child before you become his wife. If that man is not putting you on a pedestal, he shouldn't even be on your radar. If a man doesn't value you, he will ruin you. He will scar you mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. And I really want you ladies to avoid that pain. Put yourself first, always, and avoid these men like Cam Newton like the plague. But I digress. And if you watched this whole video and you truly enjoyed it, if you could do me a favor and drop a 100 down below in the comments. And if you can't donate to my Cash App above to help support the channel, that's no problem at all. I know times are hard out here and we all just trying to make it. So follow your girl on TikTok. It will cost you nothing, $0.00. I do live stream on TikTok exclusively. Also, follow your girl on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my new uploads. And subscribe. And as always, ladies, I really love to hear from y'all. So please drop your thoughts, comments, and feelings down below.